I mean, the way I tend to view problems is from a physics standpoint.
That's how you apply physics principles in your thinking.
What if I did the opposite for 48 hours? This is a question that I asked myself.
Rise and shine, it's Espresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and this channel was created to help you overcome the #1 challenge that is holding you back, a lack of belief in yourself. You watch these videos because you know there's something more inside you too. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and sip on today's message from Elon Musk. Also, if you want to have more confidence, check out my 254 series. It's free. The link to join is in the description below.
There are just times when something is important enough, you believe in it enough, that you do it in spite of the fear. I mean, the way I tend to view problems is from a physics standpoint. I mean, I think physics is a good analytical framework, and one of the key things in physics is to reason from first principles. This is contrary to the way most human reasoning takes place, which is by analogy. Reasoning from first principles just means that you figure out what are the fundamental truths or things that people are pretty sure are fundamental truths, and can you build up to a conclusion from that, from those principles, and then certainly if you come up with some idea and it appears to violate one of those fundamental truths, then you're probably wrong, or you should get a really big prize or something like that. This may seem like, I don't know, it may seem sort of obvious when it's explained, but it's actually not what people do. Reasoning by analogies is helpful because it's a shortcut.
Yeah.
And it's mostly correct, but it tends to be most incorrect when you're dealing with new things, because it's hard to analogize to something really new.
So Elon Musk talks a lot about using physics and first principles in his thinking. It's how he's won, it's how he's challenged convention, done things that other people have never done before. He's talked about it a lot. I think in all of the top 10s that we've done, it's constantly been one of these messages that pop up over and over and over and over again. But what's always missing, at least that I find, is how do you apply it? What are some examples? What's the breakdown? How do you actually do it and apply it to your life and your business? That's what this video aims to accomplish today. So there's a 3-step process I'm going to walk you through that I think will help. I'm going to share examples from my own life that hopefully you can apply to yours as well. Let's do it. So step number 1 is identify your assumptions. Step number 2, break down the fundamentals. And step number 3, create a new solution. That's how you apply physics principles in your thinking. Now let's use me as an example. So let's take one of my goals of being successful on YouTube. When I first started on YouTube over 10 years ago, I never thought I would blow up and be anywhere close to what I'm doing now. I thought I'm introverted, I'm shy, I don't like being the center of attention, I suck in front of the camera. All of these reasons why I won't win on YouTube. Let's break that down using physics first principles. So step number 1 is identify your assumptions. My assumption was introverts can't be good on camera. I'm introvert, and so I cannot be good on camera, therefore I cannot be good on YouTube and have success. So that was my assumption, step 1 done. Step number 2 is break down the fundamentals. So then you need to ask, well, what does being good on camera mean? At the time I thought, well, it's being extroverted and being entertaining, and I'm still not extroverted, and I'm definitely not entertaining. Maybe a few moments here and there, but for the most part, you're not watching me for the entertainment. I hope not. There's a lot better people at it. So break down the fundamentals. Introverts cannot be good on camera. What does good on camera mean? When I shifted it to think, it doesn't mean you have to be entertaining. It means you have to bring value to the customer, value to the audience. You have to have confidence and have trust in what you're doing. Could I do that? Yeah, I could do that. I have points that I think are helpful, are valuable, can move people based off my experience. I can be confident. I can learn the skills to get better and be more comfortable in front of the camera, even if I never become entertaining or an extrovert. The next way to break down the fundamentals is, what is an introvert? Well, an introvert, we think of somebody who's just super shy and doesn't want to talk to people, but introverts are also great listeners. Introverts can understand the questions better. Introverts pay attention to people and then can use that to help. I think introverts can actually be fantastic communicators because they listen and they pay attention because they care about the other person more than just hearing the sound of their own voice. And so when you break down the fundamentals of introverts can't be good on camera and you understand what is an introvert, what is good on camera, break that down to understand how can you leverage what you're good at to then be able to accomplish the goal, that's when you start to win. So then step 3 is create a new solution. So now that I've broken down the fundamentals and realized, oh, I can actually do that, I just need to get better at these things, then what did I do? Well, I got a coach, right? I had Steve, who's my agent, who trained me and worked with me to get better on camera. I modeled success. I looked at people who were great on camera and what did they do and how did they get better and what was in their messaging that I could learn from as a kick forward, not a kick down. And then I looked at practicing. I practiced. There's 6,000 plus videos on my YouTube channels. I practice and 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 I got better. I got better. It's a slow progression. It was a slow, growth to where I'm at now, but it was possible. In that journey, it was possible. If you go back and watch my first videos, I haven't deleted any of my videos. They're all still up. You can go watch my first video back on the channel. They're all still there. Even though I cringe in looking at them, because it serves hopefully as inspiration for you, it definitely serves as inspiration for me to see how far I've come and hopefully how far you can go as well. So how do you apply physics thinking? Identify your assumptions, break down the fundamentals, and then create a new solution. That's how I did it for YouTube. Now let's apply it to me being a successful entrepreneur. So I never thought that I would be a successful entrepreneur. It was not in my ambition. I thought I wanted to be a banker. I thought I'd go get a job like everybody else. There was nobody in my family who was an entrepreneur. And so I just thought, I'm not gonna be an entrepreneur. That's crazy, that's stupid. I won't have success running my own business. So let's run that model through physics first principles thinking. Step number 1 is identify your assumptions, right? So again, what are my assumptions? 1, there's no entrepreneurs in my family, and so I can't be a successful entrepreneur. That was 1. Another one would be selling is slimy. Salespeople are slimy. I can't make money because I don't want to be slimy and be greedy and just be a slimy salesperson. Those are 2 of the assumptions that would prevent me from being a successful entrepreneur. We're identifying my assumptions. Step number 2 is break down the fundamentals. So let's break down both of those things. I can't be a success because nobody in my family is an entrepreneur. Well, what does it mean to be an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur, all it means is you're creating something, a product or service that brings value to other people. If you're helping them, you're solving problems, then you can make money doing it. Can I solve problems for people? Can I help them with something? Of course. Have other entrepreneurs gone off and had success even though they didn't have people in their family who are entrepreneurs? Of course. So if they could do it, I could do it. At the core is just solving problems. I could do that so I can have success. Next, let's look at my assumption that selling is slimy, that in order to sell somebody on something, you're gonna win, they're gonna lose, right? That was my idea in my head. That was my assumption. Well, let's look at the fundamentals. People need solutions, right? People are coming to you, they have a problem, they need a solution. Is there a way, this is what actually went through my head, is there a way that I could sell to people and help them? Could it actually be better for them to be working with me than to not be working for me? That they are better off, that they are more successful, that they are solving their problem, that they are ahead in the game because I'm in their life helping them with something and getting paid to do it because I'm solving a big problem, versus them going off trying to do it themselves and fumbling around and trying to figure it out, right? Can you sell something? Can you believe in something? Can you have a transaction happen that is not slimy, that is not greedy, that is not taking advantage of the other person? And when I ran it through that lens, the answer is yes. When I'm talking about your one word, I don't know how much this is, 26 bucks. Like, this is a fantastic $26 investment. If you have 26 bucks, this is a fantastic investment. My next book, Built to Serve, same thing. Fantastic investment of 26 bucks. It's one of the best 26 bucks I think that you can spend maybe in your life. And I believe that. I'm not trying to sell you. I believe that. It's here. Like, I've seen the results for people to then say $26 later, what is the opportunity cost of that? You can take 2 people to a movie, maybe? I think that's worth it. I think that's way more than worth it. And so I believe in it. And so as long as I could sell things that I actually believe in and know will get people the result, then it's not slimy. And so I'm breaking down the fundamentals behind the assumptions that are now incorrect. So step number 3 is then create a new solution. So part of that for me is only selling things that I believe in. It's why I've lost so many brand deals. I can't tell you how many brand deals have come to me that I've had to say no to. I haven't had to. I chose to say no to because I didn't use their product. I don't want to recommend a product or service and tell you guys to do it if I haven't used it, if I've had it, gone through it, if I haven't found benefit in using it. And so that creates a big hurdle, because some of these companies that come to me, if it's a new software system, for example, maybe I have to move myself and my whole team over to that software to use it. Because if you ask me about it, I want to be able to open it up and explain how we're using it, not just some easy way to make a quick buck. And so it's a higher standard for me than most people, and I lose business because of it. But I want to sell things, I want to promote things, I want to be an advocate for things that I believe in. On top of that, I have messages like your purpose comes from your pain, right? I think my purpose comes from my pain. I want to help entrepreneurs. And so my ability to go off and sell to entrepreneurs, to get them, to get you to do the thing that you have to do. It's in your own best interest, right? I want you to win because I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. It's why I make all these videos. It's why I write these books. It's why I go on tour. It's why I do what I do, because my purpose comes from my pain. And when you understand what your purpose is, it gives you more confidence. It gives you a sense of duty. It gives you that sense of fulfillment that you have to go off and serve. You have to go off and serve. You have to help people because there's so many people who currently are what you used to be. And so that's how I get out of it. That's how I sell and don't feel slimy or like a scumbag or a cheap salesman. So that's my breakdown of how to apply physics thinking to the problems that are at hand. It's helped Elon Musk a lot in building his business. I think it's actually helped a lot of people who challenge standards and industry norms just the way that it's always done. You're trying to do something different. You can apply it. Because 1, you're identifying what your assumptions are, right? 2, you're breaking down the fundamentals. And then 3, you're finding a new solution that other people haven't thought of because you are using a different thought process. Now I have a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I wanna know, how can you apply physics principles in your thinking? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're still here watching this video, I wanna celebrate you. Give me a hashtag believe in the comments as well.
What if I did the opposite for 48 hours? This is a question that I asked myself when I had my first job out of college. I was talking about suffering. My desk was in the fire exit. It was completely illegal. Slept under the desk, the whole 9 yards, and don't regret a minute of it. But I was a technical sales guy, outbound sales guy. So we had inside sales, outside sales. And my job was to close deals with CTOs and CEOs for multi-million-dollar data storage systems. At that point, storage area networks with Fiber Channel. And what I realized at one point was that all of the seasoned sales guys who were doing far better than I was doing were making phone calls between 9 and 5. Those were the office hours. And I said, well, I'm clearly not doing an effective job mimicking them. What if I did the opposite for 48 hours? It's a very recoverable experiment, right? If it doesn't work, then I can always go back to what I was doing. Doing the opposite meant making my calls between, let's just say, 6:30 and 8:30, and then 5:30 to 7:30. And it was just a hypothesis. Maybe I can get a hold of the people I need to get a hold of more effectively when the gatekeepers aren't there.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. Wow. And I started booking more meetings and closing more deals than the majority of the guys in the company. And it was just from asking that question. What if I did the opposite for 48 hours? And you can apply that to many, many things. Right? Some of the others would be, well, this is one I asked in 2004. If I had a gun against my head and could only work 2 hours per week, what would I do? I know it's impossible. What would I do? And that type of ludicrous question was necessary to break my thinking patterns and stress test my own assumptions of what was possible. And you find that that is a learnable skill.
If you want to know why Elon Musk keeps going even when he fails, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
It wasn't as though in creating these companies that we thought that we would be successful. I thought that the most likely outcome was failure.